ABC's James Longman is at the Ford desk with latest.
Firefighters and good morning and welcome to the WSJM video live stream for Thursday, June 12th. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here in the studios with me is Amy Byrd, who is the Berrien County Prosecutor. Amy, thank you for joining us again.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I'm going to ask you to bring that microphone up close. Yep,
right.
Yep. Perfect. Thank you for joining us, and happy Thursday to you. Thursday, best day of the week. Agree, disagree?
It's up there.
Yeah, it's one of the best days of the week. My favorite day of the week.
Better than Sunday night, right?
Right? Yeah, absolutely. The Sunday night when you think, oh, when does it set in for you? For me, it's right around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. And then you realize, what did I do? What did I even do with my time?
Where did the weekend go?
Where was my relaxation?
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're happy to have you here in the studio this morning to talk about the gun safety campaign. You've been prosecutor now. Let's see.
Just about a year. About a year. I was appointed this time last year.
That's right. I was trying to do the math, and I think it's been a year. So how has it been as a year as Berrien County's top prosecutor, chief law enforcement officer?
It's been fantastic for me. I've absolutely loved the work. I love my office, and I think everyone has been so wonderful and supportive, and it's been a great learning experience, but also I think we've done some really great work.
Yeah. All right. And remind us the name of the dog. You've got a new dog in the office. I've not yet met the dog or petted the dog.
Oh, no, that's our fault. We got to bring the dog
So
in.
You should have brought him today.
You're right.
Who is it?
I thinking? Her name is Zoe.
Okay, Zoe.
She is a yellow lab. She's precious. She's the best trained dog. Coming from a dog owner whose dog is not well trained, sweet but not well trained. She's amazing.
Yeah. And she's not there just for looks or decoration or anything like that. She helps out.
She does. So she goes to court with children who have to testify, and she will sit in the gallery with them. She'll go up to the witness stand with them and provide a lot of comfort and ease anxiety. Yeah.
Okay. Well, very good. And the side benefit is when she's not working with the victims of horrific crimes, she gets to be around the Berrien County Prosecutor's Office, and anyone who comes by gets to enjoy that.
That's correct.
That's nice.
She's very playful.
Yeah, awesome. What's your dog's name?
Huckleberry.
And Huckleberry is what?
He is an Aussie Doodle.
Oh boy.
Yes.
An Aussie Doodle?
He's beautiful, and he's super soft and sweet, and he's 6, so he's the perfect age, I think, for a dog.
A little bit of energy.
Lots of energy.
Okay.
But I really slacked on training him to do anything cool. Can't do anything cool.
What is an Aussie Doodle? Because I know the doodle part. The Aussie, I'm thinking Australian sheepdog.
Australian Shepherd.
Oh, Australian Shepherd. So that mix.
Yes. So he likes to herd. He's
a
herder.
That's fun.
He likes everybody to be in one spot. Causes him a lot of stress.
That's great. 7:03, it's the WSJM Morning Show. Amy Byrd is with us. She's the Berrien County Prosecutor. We'll talk about firearm safety. That's coming up here in just a few moments. Also, we'll talk about those phone and text scams. I'll just do a quick one in the newscast that we have coming up in just a moment, and maybe talk about it because it's something that you think, okay, Nigerian prince wants me to help get some money out of an account. That's the old days, right? The emails that used to get like that.
I think they still get them.
Do we still get them?
I think so.
My spam filter must be good because I don't get those. But we now get that form via text, and people are still falling for it, unfortunately. So we'll talk about it. It's all coming up right here on the WSJM Morning Show.
Days of each other this week. Each was 82 years old. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
WSJM News now. Team coverage from the WSJM newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
7:05, it's the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning on Thursday, June 12th. I'm Ken Lundberg. It's the WSJM Morning Show. We do have a special guest in studio that we'll be talking with this hour. Amy Byrd is the Berrien County Prosecutor. And in fact, even though her election was last November, she's been serving in the role for about a year now, because she was appointed to fill an unexpired term.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so we'll be talking with her about firearm safety and other issues around the Berrien County Prosecutor's Office. That's coming up in just a few moments. First off, we've got to get some weather, some news, some sports. 63 degrees in Benton Harbor right now, same in St. Joseph, same in South Haven, same in Dowagiac, and cloudy skies. Niles is 64 degrees, and down at the South Bend International Airport, it's cloudy and 65. We're going to have a partly cloudy day. 20% chance of showers, a high around 85 inland, probably the upper 70s, maybe the lower 80s around the lake. Southwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight's forecast, partly cloudy, another chance of showers, a low overnight of 65. And Friday's forecast, partly sunny, a 40% chance of showers tomorrow, high around 77 degrees. Saturday and Sunday, mostly cloudy on Saturday with a 50% chance of rain, a high around 78. And Sunday's forecast, partly sunny, a 20% chance of rain showers, and a high around 77 degrees. Let's see. Tigers, Cubs, and White Sox, they all lost last night. The Tigers lost big to the Baltimore Orioles. How they did that, I don't know. Maybe the bus didn't even show up. Maybe the Orioles played against an empty field, and the Tigers still scored a run. Anyway, the final score was 10-1. Baltimore ahead most of the game, and then things really fell apart in the eighth inning. They will play again tonight at 6:35 p.m. You can hear it right here on your WSJM Major League Baseball Detroit Tigers station. Yeah, that's coming up at 6:35, first pitch. Cubs lost to the Phillies 7-2. Cubs are hosting the Pirates tonight at 8:05, and the White Sox lost to the Astros 10-2. They will play again tonight at 8:10 p.m. News that we're following in the WSJM newsroom this morning. The Berrien County Sheriff's Office is once again raising a warning about scam texts and phone calls. People in Southwest Michigan communities are getting hit hard by those scams. In recent days, at least 2 more reports of people losing thousands of dollars after falling for the scam. The Sheriff's Office says they're aware of the new text message scam claiming to be from the Michigan DMV. Yeah, we don't call it that. We call it Secretary of State's office, or maybe, some people might still call it that. The text messages are from that entity, or purporting to be from that entity, or from law enforcement. They say, the Sheriff's Office says, don't engage with those texts if you receive those, or if you get a call from those, don't engage with that. Especially if they're saying, act right now, deliver some electronic gift cards to this location, or Bitcoin, or else. They say, don't do it. Hang up the phone, delete the text, block the sender. If you really think you might owe some money, they say, confirm it independently outside of that moment. The Secretary of State will not call you or text you asking for money. Don't click on any links in the message. Don't reply with any additional information. They say just block and delete those messages. And if you need to, confirm something if you're concerned about it with a family member or a trusted friend. Other news set for this Saturday. It's the 8th annual Benton Harbor Juneteenth Parade and Celebration. Event co-chair and Benton Harbor City Councilman Ethel Clark Griffin tells us the whole community is invited to come out and celebrate history and emancipation at Dwight P. Mitchell City Center Park. She says everything kicks off with a parade to the park.
At 1 o'clock, we will start marching from the Whirlpool building on Main Street, and we will march all the way down to the Pete Mitchell City Center Park, which is also on Main Street. And then we start immediately with the celebration.
Clark Griffin says there are more than 50 entries in the parade. Then the celebration at City Center Park will feature more than 30 vendors, community organizations, food, dancing, trivia, and of course some music.
And then we have entertainment performers. We have a DJ. We have, I believe, 4 or 5 performers this year. And the headliner, it's called Work in Progress.
They'll have line dancing lessons, honors for Benton Harbor residents for their accomplishments, and some activities for the children. Clark Griffin says they'll have several hundred people in attendance for the day. Again, it all kicks off 1 p.m. at the Whirlpool building and then heads over to City Center Park on Saturday. The Berrien County Trial Court's Family Division has launched a new online tool to help teens at risk of getting into trouble find the help they might need. Court Family Division Administrator Elvin Gonzalez tells us as the court put together its strategic plan, It saw a need to help prevent young people from getting caught up in the courts because often a teen will show signs of trouble before getting into real trouble. That's why the court has teamed up with the Berrien Community Foundation for Teens in Need. They say it's a way for a young person or their parents to find help.
Parents can access it, teens can access it. And what it does is it links teens and or their parents to resource information, which addresses some of the underlying factors that could put them at risk of getting involved in the court system. And so it connects them to agencies and providers that can help them get on the right track.
Gonzalez says this goes back a few years as the court looked for prevention tools.
We see kids that are struggling at home in the relationships with their family members. They could be kids struggling at school or in their community with their peers. And we really wanted to have a resource for those teens to be able to be connected to services.
Gonzalez says the court is meeting with school superintendents and principals, the Department of Health and Human Services, and others who work with young people to help spread the word about teens in need. He says teachers, coaches, and even cafeteria staff are often the first ones to see signs a young person might need a helping hand. Teens in Need is now live. We have a link for more information at our website. That's at WSJM.com. And one more story. The Berrien County Health Department is reminding people to take precautions with their food this summer. How many times do we have to say this? Keep the hot stuff hot and the cold stuff cold. And the mayonnaise, don't let it sit out for a long time. Anyway, Department Environmental Health Supervisor Brian Murphy tells us summer is the time of year when hospitals, unfortunately, see a lot of patients who come in with food poisoning.
Due to the warmer temperatures, it just allows bacteria, in the food to multiply faster when it's warmer outside and it's exposed to that warmer weather.
Murphy says with cookouts and celebrations, there will be ample opportunity this summer for food to be left out in temperatures that could lead to the formation, the creation of bacteria. There's a rule of thumb to follow.
41 degrees or below is what we're looking for as far as cold food safety. So you can never use too few ice. Ice is great. Just keep everything iced down. You're putting things in coolers. Make sure you're using enough ice. You're not opening it frequently.
Murphy says keep cold food cold, keep hot food hot. If you're grilling, use a digital meat thermometer to ensure everything's being cooked safely. Also remember, hand washing is key. So wash your hands before and after handling food. Murphy says about 48 million people get a food-related illness each year in the U.S. 48 million people. What in the world are they doing? Of those, he says about 128,000 require hospitalization and 3,000 die. Regarding questionable food, he tells everyone, when in doubt, throw it out. That's a look at some of the news. There's nothing more sad than a warm bowl of potato salad, right? You don't want to eat that.
I did not think that summer was the time we were afflicted with this. I was thinking Thanksgiving, right?
Oh, yeah.
The big spread out all day.
That makes sense.
But okay.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe down south where it's warmer, they get it at Thanksgiving too.
yeah.
But yeah, warm potato salad. That was always the big watch out for us. So if it was warm, don't eat it because there's mayonnaise or egg stuffs in there.
100%.
Yeah.
You got to be first in line.
First in line. I like it. Amy Byrd is here. She's the Berrien County Prosecutor. We're going to talk about firearm safety in a few moments. We've got sports to talk about. We're going to start that conversation on the video live stream right now. But right now on the radio, you're going to get sports with Dave Wolf.
After the Tiger.
All right. Back on the video live stream. Good morning again. Welcome.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here. Sorry, I get exercised about food safety.
Well, it's important. Who knew?
48 million people a year. And then
a lot of cookouts.
We heard that story on about the phone scams. So we'll save that and talk about that in just a couple of moments as well. But maybe you can just talk about, for those who aren't familiar, we see a lot of TV crime shows. We know who the prosecutors are. We know who the cops are. We know who the bad people are on TV. But tell us a little bit from your viewpoint, Berrien County Prosecutor. What's the role? What's your primary mission, and how's it been going?
Sure. So the Berrien County Prosecutor's Office, we are the body that charges people with crime. So your house is broken into and you make a police report, that comes to us, and we review and see if the crime was in fact committed, and you'll hear somebody has a warrant out for them.
Yeah.
We did that.
Yeah.
So, and then we also go to court. So once those offenders come into the criminal justice system, we're the ones who go to court and maybe go before a jury or before a judge and ask that they find this person guilty of the crime, ensure community safety, ensure that they're either off the street or getting some sort of intervention to prevent this type of thing from happening in the future.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, that's what we do.
How many cases are open at any given time? Do you have a sense?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, right.
Ooh, hundreds.
Because we see the dockets
thousands.
from times to
Sure.
time, and every single day, I mean, it's this thick.
100%.
It-
100%.
It's amazing. So, I mean, what are we talking about? Everything under the sun, because it's not just the major crimes. What?
Sure. Our office handles everything from speeding.
Okay.
Makes us the least popular people in the world, all the way to homicide. So
Okay.
it could be anything in between. Somebody committing a shoplifting that would come to us.
Yeah.
Any assaultive crimes, domestic violence, and of course gun crimes. We handle a lot of those.
Okay. We're talking with Amy Byrd. She's the Berrien County Prosecutor. You've recently launched a firearm safety campaign, and tell us a little bit more about that. What was the impetus? What's the idea behind it?
Sure. So from our perspective and kind of what I just described, we are very reactive in the criminal justice system. We don't typically get involved until a crime has occurred. We saw an opportunity with a grant that was offered to prosecutors' offices to do something proactive.
Yeah.
Part of our mission is to do community education and community outreach. So that was the back end of why we decided to apply for this. But anecdotally, what we see in our community regarding guns are stolen firearms, generally getting into the wrong hands, or just firearms that are not secured properly, getting into young hands, and the tragedies that ensue. And we wanted to do something about that.
Yeah, and so this is your effort as a prosecutor's office to get ahead of this, so that you honestly, maybe not selfishly at all, but honestly to get ahead of it, so that you don't see cases,
100%.
tragedies don't occur, or crimes are stifled before they happen.
100%. And we as an office, we are generally, all of us are residents in Berrien County or close by. We love this community, and we don't want anything to happen here.
Right.
Ideally, that's the goal. So anything we can do, we will.
Okay. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. We've got to get a quick weather forecast and check on the temperatures. It's 7:17. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning.
Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Mostly cloudy skies with a slight chance of a shower this morning, then partly sunny. We're still looking at a really warm day with high temperatures in the low to mid 80s. We have another chance of a few scattered showers and thunderstorms this evening and overnight. We'll drop to 65 tonight. Then for tomorrow, we'll see a mix of the sun and clouds, chances of rain showers, and a high of 75. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
It's the WSJM Morning Show for your Thursday, and I would argue that Thursdays are the best days of the week because you've done the heavy lifting for the week. Now it's just tying up the loose ends before Saturday hits.
Yeah, if you're doing it right.
If you're doing it right, this is the great day of the week. If you can bring that up. Yep,
yes.
That's all right. That's all right. We are talking with Amy Byrd, Berrien County Prosecutor, and we're going to talk about firearm safety this hour. And one of the things that the prosecutor's office, we were just talking on the video live stream a moment ago, one of the things the prosecutor's office wants to do is be proactive about getting out there and helping perhaps stop some of these crimes that are committed with firearms before they start, or tragedies. So we'll talk about that in just a moment. But I did want to take just a moment to talk about what we had in the news a second ago. Local law enforcement once again raising the red flags about criminals going out there and soliciting through text messages, through phone calls, through emails, you name it, scams, phone scams, basically asking the most vulnerable of our population to immediately give them gift cards or even Bitcoin. And we got a call from Sheriff Chuck Hyde yesterday, Berrien County Sheriff Chuck Hyde, saying, hey, this is happening. We're getting barraged. Van Buren County's getting barraged. Others, and they're succeeding in stealing money, thousands of dollars from area residents. Help us get the word out on these phone scams. And so, from a prosecutor's point of view, I mean, what can you do about this? These just seem like nefarious ghosts who are out there just fishing with their text messages, looking for some victim who, out of the goodness of their heart, wants to make sure everything's fine. What do you do?
Right, absolutely.
What are you hearing?
And you're right, they are. They're not even in our country half
Yeah.
the time, right? Or if they are, they're far removed,
Yeah.
and they're very difficult to track.
Yeah.
And by design, right?
Right.
So that they can do what they do.
Yeah.
It's great that you're talking about it now. Actually, the 15th is Elder Abuse Awareness
Mm.
Day. And as you said, these impact the most vulnerable people in our community, which tend to be people who are less familiar with technology and more susceptible to believing that these types of things are true concerns that they should have.
Yeah, I'm glad you characterized it that way, because it is in fact elder abuse when you take advantage of elders in that way, not not caring about their financial stability or their financial future, because they have less ability to increase their income than any of us, and then you're going right after their nest egg, and so one of the things that we were talking about in how to stop this from happening is, if you're not sure, if you're very concerned about this, stop and don't do anything in the moment. Check with a family member, check with a trusted friend or family member, and don't, by all means, don't give them money right then
No,
and there.
absolutely not. The
Yeah.
DMV, you talked about that one. I've heard of jury scams where
Yep.
they say you missed your jury service or you have a warrant out. And in these types of situations, you can call direct.
Yes.
Call direct to those offices. They will tell you.
Yeah,
They will tell you.
independent verification. I think that's the key, really, honestly, with everything
Sure.
that you get. Like in my junk mail, every so often one gets through, and it says, "Oh, thanks for paying your invoice for $572 for this spyware thing," and you say, "Well, I didn't sign up for that. I don't want my money." It's just another clever scam.
Just to bait you into opening it,
Yep.
clicking the link. Yes.
Never do it. So don't click the links. Don't answer the questions. Don't give them personal information. Verify it independently. And absolutely, the government agencies, it seems like we've got it pretty much across the board. They're not going to call or text or harass you for money in that way. And if you're concerned you owe it, hang up and call independently.
Yes.
Good?
Yes. They
All
will
right.
not. In 2025, no one from those agencies is texting you.
Right.
It's not happening.
The other thing, we talk about the benefits and the detriments, the drawbacks of artificial intelligence. But one of the things that artificial intelligence is doing, the criminals are using it to like mimic voices and that kind of thing. And so an elderly person might think it's their grandson or granddaughter as well. They're asking for money. Don't fall for that either. You have to independently verify.
You do. And it's so unfortunate, but yes, you do.
Okay. Enough of that for right now. We'll talk more about that later. But we're talking with Amy Byrd. She's the prosecuting attorney, the Berrien County prosecutor. And one of the things that we wanted to talk about is how prosecutors are addressing firearm safety. And we started to talk about this on the video live stream. But tell me, why is this important for the prosecutor's office to get involved in firearm safety, and how are you doing it?
Sure. Well, we want to make sure Berrien County is safe. And that means that we're reducing gun violence. That's primary what we want to do. We decided to put out some, what I'd call public service announcements, some education. And really, it's just a way for us to get out to a mass group of people. Hey, these are some things that make you more susceptible to having your firearm stolen or to have your firearm end up in the wrong hands. Think about it, just to have that mental checklist in your mind. If you are a registered gun owner, if you do carry concealed, just things you want to think about. I know people in our community who do possess guns, they don't want anything bad to happen.
Right.
They are holding them either for hunting purposes or they want to protect themselves or their family. They don't want that to get in the wrong hands. But if we don't put out the word of what we are seeing, what we're actually seeing in our office, I think we're doing them a disservice.
Yeah. What kind of things are you actually seeing in your office without sharing names or identities?
Sure. Well, we are seeing stolen firearms get into the wrong hands. Tragically, what we're seeing is the violent offenders who are using firearms tend to be younger and younger in our community. And that's for a variety of reasons. But these are people who might be seeking to steal firearms. Around this time of year, we see a lot of car break-ins. And so people who maybe have a concealed carry permit, like to keep their firearm in their vehicle.
Yeah.
If it's in your driveway, just know it's going to be susceptible to being stolen. Yesterday I had a warrant request that came through, so a police report that came through. There was a shooting, and that firearm ended up having been stolen out of Baroda in 2018. So just circulating in our community for all these years, and we got it back, got it off the street, but only because somebody used it violently.
Wow. And so when we're talking with Amy Byrd, Berrien County Prosecutor Amy Byrd, and firearm safety. And so one of the things that the public service campaign that you've launched talks about is just that what you mentioned is a firearm that is in your vehicle. Whether if you think you're keeping it secret and hidden and it's in the glove box, that's not hidden. It's not secret.
It's not. And we will have just sprees in the summer, and spring and summer, where people will just go through a neighborhood and open every car door they can.
Yeah.
And they're looking for anything.
Yeah.
But one of the things they know they're going to find are potentially firearms.
Yeah.
And that's, for a lot of people, that's also currency. They can use those in different ways, selling them, trading them. There's a market for it in our own community. So that's a motivation for them to go through your neighborhood and do those things.
Are there certain steps that a firearm owner should go through if their car has been broken into and they think that maybe their firearm has been stolen?
Well, they should absolutely report it.
Who do they report it to?
Their local law enforcement agency. They'll get that information, make sure that is out there, so that when we do locate the gun, eventually we can either reconnect it with them, or if they haven't had it registered or didn't report it, there's really going to be no way that we can do that.
Right. Okay. All right. We're talking about firearm safety. Some of the other things that you might think about. Where are you storing your firearm in your home?
Sure.
How do you? What should we be thinking about with that?
Well, I think it depends on your situation. Certainly, if you've got young children who are at least even frequenting your home, you should be keeping your firearm in a locked container, out of sight, out of reach, or at a minimum unloaded with a gun lock. You should be doing those types of things. But just generally for everyone, not advertising that you have these weapons, not advertising where you're keeping them.
Yeah. Yeah, we're far removed from the days when you have the gun rack in the back of your pickup truck and your rifles are just sitting there, right?
Yes, but I think people have similar situations in their home because they enjoy the sport or whatever, and they like to display it. And then you have to be conscious of who's putting eyes on those weapons.
Yeah, don't make yourself a target.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to continue our conversation. We're talking with Berrien County Prosecutor Amy Byrd on gun safety, firearm safety, and other things. It's all coming up right here on the WSJM Morning Show. If you're on the video live stream, tune in. If you have any questions for the prosecutor, let us know. We see Bernice says, welcome, Amy. Let's see. Okay, we'll talk about more of what's on the video live stream here in just a moment. It's 7:28. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Bloomberg Market Minute coming up next.
Would you call free?
Okay, still on the video live stream. Let's see. Bill says, it's funny, I've not been on a toll road in a few years, but I got a text message saying
That's another one.
the toll roads.
Yes.
Yeah, we forgot about the toll roads. Let's see. I've received the toll road one, the jury one, the hey, thanks for your $500 for your subscription for computer stuff.
I get that every day.
You
I
do-
feel like every day. And the toll. I've also gotten the toll.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, well, I guess I got my license plate. You can send me a bill, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to text me.
Illinois did send me a bill for tolls because I thought I had signed up for the automatic payment for the toll road stuff.
But no.
Didn't work. So they sent me a paper bill saying we are the real guys.
Good.
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 That's right. I have to remember to pay that. Anyway, I do like the new tolls. I don't know if you've driven through them where you don't have to stop at the toll booth anymore.
No.
You just drive through it. Not even the iPass, just for everyone.
Really?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So you're on an app and
Yeah.
they just record.
Yeah.
You. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like that too. It really slows you down.
It does. It slows everything
And I always
down.
get in the wrong lane.
Firearm safety, other stories that you want to share about it.
Well, it just impacts our community in so many different ways. And going back to people carrying these for nefarious purposes seem to be getting younger and younger. when you really think about that, what we're seeing are groups of young people who are either possessing them and using them for status, to scare people. They get in, there's groups of young people in our community who get in very immature beefs with each other about friends, about girlfriends, things like that. And they will indiscriminately shoot at people that they see that they believe are affiliated with another group. So that's not only putting other youth in danger of bodily injury or death, but they're indiscriminately hitting houses, cars, and then the people who live in those neighborhoods, now their home has bullet holes in it. Now their child who lives in their house is afraid to sleep in their room. And it really is a community issue beyond just this could hurt someone.
Well, and we saw in the news, we reported earlier this week that over the weekend in Benton Harbor, there was a large party and 6 people were injured.
Yes.
I mean, to me, you're talking about just being mere inches away from that being a mass murder.
Sure. And it's, like I said, it's very indiscriminate. You were just in the way.
Yeah.
And a lot of these firearms pistols are being modified after they're obtained to be fully automatic. And just there's absolutely no skill used at that point. It's not what you think, right? It's not like a movie where somebody sees someone they don't like and shoots them. These weapons are just too powerful for someone to handle, and it generally are hitting everyone but their target.
I don't know the caliber that was used in the shooting over the weekend where 6 people were wounded in Benton Harbor, but I'm familiar with shooting firearms. And if it's a 45 caliber firearm, a pistol has a good kick, right? It has a little bit of a recoil. If you turn that illegally into an automatic firearm, you're going to start with one bullet hole here, and the 5th one's going to be over
100%.
here. It's just crazy.
Yes. I was fortunate. I guess I'll say fortunate.
Yeah.
I did ask a local detective if I could try shooting these guns in obviously a safe, controlled environment.
Yeah.
And the power that they had, the lack of accuracy. And you're right. You start in one spot, and for me, it went up. So you just it's just a spray, and it happens. You unload that magazine in split seconds. It feels like, and just. We had a shooting on US 12 recently.
That's right,
and that
the
was a
road
similar-
rage thing, yeah.
Yeah, and what the information I was provided with is that was also a firearm that had been made automatic. And I don't know how, but luckily that individual who was shot, it sounds like they are still with us.
Right.
But how is when you're considering they unloaded an entire magazine in their direction.
That's crazy.
Amazing.
That is crazy. We've seen this issue, and we've seen law enforcement at all levels, local, state, and federal, get involved in the modification. They cracked what they thought was a ring of the modifications. I'll ask you when we come back in a few moments what the state of that kind of I don't know what modification or illegal activity, what the state of that is, if you can share. We'll talk about that in a moment, if that's all right. It's the WSJM Morning Show. We're concluding the Bloomberg Market Minute. We'll be back with some news from ABC and our local newsroom. It's all coming up next.
Tariffs on key trade partners, including China. Sporting goods have risen by 0.4% and toys 0.8%. Prices for major appliances have seen a bigger uptick, rising by 3.7%. But after years of lingering inflation, companies may be finding ways to shield consumers from higher costs. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
7:34 WSJM Morning Show continues on one of the best days of the week. It's a Thursday. It's June 12th, to be specific. We have 65 degrees and cloudy skies in Benton Harbor right now, 64 in St. Joseph, 64 in South Haven. We're just expecting partly cloudy skies today, maybe a rain shower or two, a 20% chance of showers today. I think Carrie Peugeot, our meteorologist from WSBT, said it was going to be early in the day and then clearing out for an okay rest of your day. The warmest areas of Southwest Michigan are going to get up to 85 degrees today. Yeah, that's incredible. You're a fan of the warm weather,
I
aren't
love
you?
it.
Yeah. I will take the air conditioning. This is a nice temperature right here.
You just like to know it's nice out.
Yeah, it's nice out, beautiful. Yay, it's outside. Tonight's forecast, partly cloudy, a 20% chance of showers, a low overnight around 65. Oh, by the way, the highs today, probably near the lakeshore, looking at more around 77 degrees. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then Friday's forecast tomorrow, we're looking at another partly sunny one with a 40% chance of showers, a high around 77. Saturday, mostly cloudy and a 50% chance of showers or storms, and a high around 78 degrees. We're continuing our conversation with Amy Byrd, Berrien County Prosecutor. That's coming up in just a moment. We've got our latest ABC World and National News, our local news and sports coming up next.
This is a special report from the ABC News. I'm Sherry Preston. Combing through the wreckage in northwest India, rescue teams on the scene of an Air India plane crash in a residential area in the city of Ahmedabad. We have just learned the nationalities of those on board the flight, which was headed to London's Gatwick Airport. At the foreign desk, ABC's James Longman.
Of those on board, Air India says 169 are Indian nationals, 53 British, 7 Portuguese, and 1 Canadian. Now, the plane is 11 years old, and the Indian Civil Aviation Authority has been quick to point out the pilot had 8,200 hours of flying experience. But it is, of course, much too early to know the cause of this crash.
The plane is 787 Dreamliner, the first crash ever of this type of Boeing plane. That city has a population of about 5 million people. The plane would have been loaded with fuel when it went down less than a minute after takeoff. This is ABC News.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
7:36 WSJM Morning Show continues. I'm Ken Lundberg. We've got our state news coming up from Michigan News Network next, and sports from Dave Wolf. Some of the news that we're covering at 8 o'clock this morning. A Pawpaw man is facing charges after a shooting that happened Tuesday this week in Van Buren County. Michigan State Police say troopers were called into the 31,000 block of Red Arrow Highway in Antwerp Township around 8:50 p.m. Tuesday night on a report of a shooting. They say a 33-year-old Pawpaw man was shot and treated at the scene for minor injuries. A 49-year-old man was arrested on charges of assault with intent to murder. We'll have more on that story. That's coming up at 8 o'clock. The Cass County Sheriff's Office says Wednesday morning at approximately 10:30 a.m., deputies of the Sheriff's Office responded to the 25,000 block of Morton Street for a man who was allegedly threatening a family member with a firearm. The suspect also threatened to burn down the residence with occupants still inside. Tell you how that one ended out. That is coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. Also, Lincoln Township is close to finalizing their new master plan. We'll talk about those stories and more. That's coming up at 8 o'clock right here on the WSJM Morning Show. 7:38 now. We're continuing our conversation with Amy Byrd, Berrien County Prosecutor. That continues on the video live stream right now. Sports is next.
The Michigan.
A lot of crime. You see a lot of crime?
Yes, I do. It's the hazard of my job.
We laugh about it, but I mean, that's your day-to-day job, and we thank you for doing it. Somebody's got to do it, and you are at the Berrien County Prosecutor's Office. How many years now?
Going on 17.
17 years.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How do you decompress after seeing, I mean, what you see is not the best of Berrien County. You see people when sometimes they're at their worst. And those crimes come through in graphic detail that I wouldn't want anyone to have to see. But you and your office go through that every day. How do you decompress?
I think it's different for everybody. Me personally,
Yeah.
I like to go for lots of walks. I go for thinking walks.
Yeah.
That helps. But I think the other side of it is we're also seeing those impacted by the crime. And those are people who generally want what's best for our community in Berrien County. And it does remind you it's not all bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not. I mean, there's a lot of good out there, a lot of good
Yes.
people doing a lot of great things.
And I have to remember it's a percentage of the population that we're dealing with. It's not the entire population.
Yeah.
It might be my entire day, but it's not the world when you step outside the doors of the courthouse.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you've got Zoe nearby.
Right. Oh, sure. Then there's Zoe.
Then you got Zoe nearby. All right. Let me make sure we've got the commercials running that we're supposed to. Yep. There they are. That one. This is the behind the scenes stuff that we do. So now that you've been in the top job of Berrien County Prosecutor for a full year now, because you were appointed to fill out the unexpired portion of a term, what's been the biggest surprise to you?
And I guess that it's a pleasant surprise. The amount of people who want to collaborate with our office is really surprising. Community members, groups. I feel like I'm in a meeting every day, multiple meetings every day, but it's really people who want to invest in our community and get the best that we can out of our community and our entities, right? So that's been great. That's not something I was exposed to when I was what I would say on the trial staff, going into court, doing trials all day.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really enjoy that.
Community collaboration.
Yes.
Nice. And there was another question I was just about to ask you. It has slipped my mind. It'll come back to me. We're talking with Amy Byrd. She's the Berrien County Prosecutor, and she's been in the role for officially as an appointee and then as the elected prosecutor for, I'd say, a year now.
Yes.
A full year now.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary to you. I remembered what I was going to ask you. Are you fully staffed up now?
Oh, if you would have asked me last week, I would say yes.
Oh, no. What happened?
Oh, we had a wonderful trial attorney whose husband is in the Coast Guard and got stationed in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Oh, goodness.
All places. So sad to see her go.
Yeah.
Hoping we can welcome her back someday.
Okay.
But yeah. So as of last Friday, no. But
So he was with the Coast Guard and then got transferred to Erie.
yes.
Okay.
Yes. And was obviously here stationed in beautiful St.
Yeah.
Joe. And, people get promoted and they do crazy things with them. So hoping they can come back. I think they view this area as home and want to return.
How many people do you have in the prosecutor's office, would you say?
So attorney-wise, there's ideally there's 20
Okay.
of us, and then about equal number of support staff, and that covers front office staff, our victim advocates, our techs who help us with our evidence collection, and our investigator.
Okay. You have everything you need there?
Well, that's a loaded question.
Okay.
We have a great staff.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay. Money-wise, everyone's coming through with enough money? You need more?
From the county? I mean, we will always take more money.
Okay.
How can you say no to that?
All right. But you've got enough right now to keep doing the job.
Yes, we do.
Okay. All right. 742 WSJM Morning Show continues. We're talking with Amy Byrd. One of the stories that you mentioned, a parent whose toddler accidentally shot herself in early May. The parent has now been charged, according to the Kalamazoo Department of Public Safety. 35-year-old Ashley Howard was charged with safe storage violations, minor present. She was given a $1,000 personal recognizance bond. So basically, some safe storage issues, and that's the heart of your campaign: is safely storing your firearm.
And that story, although tragic in so many ways, is so timely to this campaign because that firearm was just stored in a vehicle, and the child was able to access it in the vehicle.
Yeah.
It was obviously not locked, and it was loaded. The magazine was in there, and that's exactly what we're trying to prevent, because no lawful gun owner wants that to happen. But if we don't really get the word out that these things do happen and you have to be aware of them, our fear is that they will continue to happen.
Yeah. What percentage would you say what percentage of crime would you say involves a stolen firearm? Large number?
Large number. Obviously, the people who are used, well, maybe it's not obvious, but lawful gun owners generally are not the ones we're seeing committing crimes with firearms.
Yeah.
It's the people who are illegally possessing them, whether they're stolen or they have a criminal history that makes them ineligible to possess firearms. Those are the individuals who are using them violently in our community.
And now we have Michigan safe storage laws.
Yes.
And so you're required, if you've got children accessing your home, to lock those things up.
Right.
Okay.
And certainly that will help ensure safety of minor children who, for various reasons, find firearms interesting, want to play with them, things like that. that's important, certainly. But beyond that, I hope that those laws will also prevent people from having their firearms stolen.
Yeah.
Because I obviously, like the story you had with the 3-year-old, the 3-year-old's not going to sell that firearm on the street,
No.
but maybe the 15-year-old who broke into your car will be doing that.
Exactly. It's 7:45. Back with more with Amy Byrd, Berrien County Prosecutor, in just a moment. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
Slight chance of a shower this morning, then partly sunny. We're still looking at a really warm day with high temperatures in the low to mid 80s. We have another chance of a few scattered showers and thunderstorms this evening and overnight. We'll drop to 65 tonight. Then for tomorrow, we'll see a mix of the sun and clouds, chances of rain showers, and a high of 75. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
65 degrees in Benton Harbor and in St. Joseph and in South Haven. 65 degrees all across the region right now with those cloudy skies hanging out overhead. And it's going to be another warm one today, as we just heard from Carrie Peugeot. We've got more coming up in just a moment. Right now, we're going to do the Moody on the Market update. It's brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today. They are your local auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. And for the Moody on the Market update, let's stay with our special guest this morning, Amy Byrd, who's the Berrien County Prosecutor. We talk about life in Southwest Michigan and why we love it here. We love it here because the communities, by and large, are safe. And we enjoy that. You, unfortunately, it's part of your job. You get to see the dark side of Berrien County from time to time, and a lot of the crime that happens. And some of it happens with stolen firearms.
Yes.
And so you have a public safety campaign that's happening right now. For those who might just be tuning in, can you go over what is that public safety campaign and what do you want people to do?
Absolutely. So our public safety campaign really targets 3 areas, I think. One is people who are lawfully carrying concealed. We want them to remove those firearms from their vehicles when they're not in their vehicles. People who have firearms that perhaps have young children coming around, we want them to lock those firearms up, make sure they're secured, make sure that young hands aren't going to be able to access them. And then for people who have firearms and maybe are very proud of them or displaying them, please be aware of who is viewing those firearms in your home because they don't always have your best interest in mind. What we're seeing is firearms being stolen from people's homes and cars, and they are winding up on our streets in Berrien County locally, and they are being used in violent acts. And so we know that people who lawfully possess weapons in Berrien County don't want that to happen. I love the tagline of the PSA, which says it's your firearm, don't let someone else pull the trigger. Really, that at the end of the day, that is our message. Do what you need to do so that doesn't happen.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it does happen when firearms are unsecured and left around curious hands. We were talking on the video live stream a moment ago about a story from Kalamazoo where the latest development in the story is the parent whose toddler accidentally shot herself in early May has been charged. A 35-year-old female is charged with safe storage violations with a minor present, and officers were called to a location in Kalamazoo for a report that a child had suffered a self-inflicted gunshot wound. While she was alone with her sibling, a 3-year-old pulled her parents' legally owned gun out from the car's center console and accidentally shot herself. The girl was taken to an area hospital. In last known was critical but stable condition and expected to recover. But that, I'm sure that that could have ended very easily in a different story with a fatality.
And again, certainly nobody wants that to happen. Those parents didn't want that to happen. And the solution is so obvious and simple.
Yeah.
That you don't leave children and firearms alone, or at least unsecured firearms. But wow, it's really happening, and it maybe not in our county, but very close by.
Yeah, and there is a requirement now because we do have Michigan's safe storage law, which requires gun owners to securely store firearms in a locked box or container if a minor is known to be present. Have you prosecuted? Have you been dealing with any cases involving Michigan's safe storage law as of yet?
I believe we've had one,
Okay.
and it was a similar situation where the firearm was left unattended with with children around.
Yeah. I mean, it's the law now. And so if you're a firearm owner, a responsible firearm owner, you need to be up on all the laws that pertain to you, including Michigan's safe storage law.
Yes. And one of the things about the campaign that the radio station has done for us is you guys have a landing page for us on your website.
Yes.
And so for parents who are thinking, have I done everything I can do to make sure my kids are safe? Because I'm a lawful gun owner. There are some tips on there about talking to your kids about guns, gun safety, things of that nature. And so great resource for anybody who's interested in checking it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll give that website out in just a few moments. But that's our Moody on the Market update. Our Moody on the Market update brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today. They are your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. We'll conclude our conversation in just a few moments with Berrien County Prosecutor Amy Byrd. It's coming up right here on the WSJM Morning Show.
Insurance Management Service, your local.
All right, back on the video live stream. You're a lawful gun owner?
I'm not.
Oh, you're not?
I'm not a gun owner, but if
Okay.
I was, I'd be a lawful gun owner.
Okay,
sure.
but you've fired firearms.
I have fired firearms.
Okay.
With supervision.
Do you enjoy it?
Yes, I think for my job to be able to fully appreciate what's going on, I need to understand how it feels to hold a firearm, how it feels, the responsibility and the power behind shooting a firearm. I just need to know those things. So for me, it's research.
Yeah. So I was raised in a very rural area where everyone had firearms, and there's a ton of hunting going on with that. And so you just kind of grow up around them in areas where you don't grow up, or where communities have not grown up around them. It's a very alien thing, and it can be very daunting, very scary. But I think as long as you understand the mechanics, if you go through a firearm training course, make sure that you understand and you know what it is that the firearm is, where the business end is.
Sure.
How to keep the slide from taking a chunk of meat out of your hand when it fires a semi-automatic.
And you're absolutely right. I mean, it's all about familiarity. I mean, when our Constitution was written, children were handling firearms, but it was a part of your life. It was a part of growing up, and it was a part of the teaching that your family was passing on. And I don't think we have that type of situation anymore. So we really need to educate ourselves.
Yeah, I still remember going through the firearm safety training course when I could, which was at age 12.
Yes.
But I was firing firearms before that safely, of course, with my father. 7:52 WSJM Morning Show continues. Let's see if we have anything else. Teresa Yor says happy anniversary to you, Amy. Bernice says the same thing.
Oh,
so
thank you.
Happy work anniversary.
Thank you.
17 years at the Berrien County Prosecutor's Office and 1 full year now as Berrien County Prosecutor, and elected back in November to a 4-year term?
Yes.
4-year term. Okay. Will you run again? You want to announce yet? You can hold.
Sure.
You okay.
Just assume.
Just assume.
I
shall.
love my job.
That's awesome. We can tell. It's good stuff. All right, back with more in just a moment. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
States and situations.
Introducing the new Dell AI PC powered by the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps do your busy work for you, so you can fast forward through editing images, designing presentations, generating code, debugging code, summarizing meeting notes, finding files, managing a schedule, and responding to Jim's long emails. Leaving all the time in the world for the things you actually want to do. No offense, Jim. Get a new Dell AI PC at dell.com/AI-PC. How those ahead stay ahead.
Shop local, buy local, save big deals.
It's not every day you can save money. Oh, wait.
Okay, back on the video live stream. I was able to pull up the website more quickly than I thought I was. If you want to see the website that we're talking about, just go to wsjm.com/safety. That's a lot simpler. I'm glad our folks
simple.
made that simple. Yeah, wsjm.com/safety. And not only should you familiarize yourself with it, especially if you're a firearm owner, but if there's anyone in your household who might be a firearm owner and they've not, you might say, hey, by the way, there's this really cool site which shows a lot of things that we should be thinking about with our firearms. Safe and secure. Protect what matters most. That's good stuff. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you guys.
Appreciate it. Okay, back with the conclusion of this interview in just a moment. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
Your local Bryant Factory authorized dealer.
From the Pat Moody Studios, this is WSJM FM Benton Harbor St. Joseph, a product of Midwest Family Marketing and Media. Proudly serving our community. The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
7:55 now. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Time is just flying by, Amy. It's been a full hour already. Did it feel like an hour?
No.
Yeah.
No.
WSJM Morning Show. Amy Byrd is the Berrien County Prosecutor, and we're talking about a firearm safety campaign. Gun safety starts at home. If you want more information on this campaign, check it out. We have a landing page on our website, WSJM.com/safety. Safe and secure, protect what matters most. We believe in our communities, protecting our communities, especially our kids, through responsible firearm storage and safety education. In partnership with the Berrien County Prosecutor's Office, that's why Amy's here, our goal is to help gun owners in Berrien County store firearms safely and prevent tragedies before they happen.
That's so well said.
Well,
That sums it up. No, that's right.
You're able to help amplify this through a grant.
Yes.
Through which organization?
Sure. So we applied for this grant through our Prosecuting Attorneys Association of Michigan. I believe it was funded through them. I want to say it was a state grant that they were distributing, and it was open to all prosecutors' offices, and it was granted, which there's many, right?
Yes.
One per county.
Yep.
And it was granted to 5. So we were a lucky recipient. Very fortunate.
And why does it matter? Why safe gun storage matters? 75% of kids who live in homes with guns know where they're stored. That's a daunting figure. So hopefully they know also not to touch them unless there's an adult around. Sure. 1 in 3 homes with children has at least one unlocked or loaded gun, which is unsafe. Unsecured firearms are often stolen during car and home break-ins. Many of them are then later used in crime. Again, and young children are naturally curious. We know this, and accidental shootings happen more often than you think. So safe storage is not about taking away rights. It's about preventing preventable tragedies.
100%.
Yeah. All right. Amy Byrd, anything else we need to know? What else are we talking about?
Well,
we've got 2.5 minutes left.
Well, I could say if anybody's interested in getting a gun lock, they're free from a variety of sources, but I do know our local health department has a stock of them.
Okay.
Limited stock. But again, we're not trying to make it more difficult on anybody. These things are available free of charge. If you are a gun owner and think, geez, I don't have a lock, we can get that for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, a lot of people say, well, if I have a gun lock on my thing, I can't use it in time of need. Well, there are different ways, different things that you need to be thinking about with that, especially if you have more than one firearm in your home. You probably have one designated as your personal protection, and the rest of them, they can probably be locked up till you take them to the range and practice some more, right?
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
So just think about it.
We are supportive of Berrien County residents who want to lawfully own firearms. Yep. Absolutely, that's your right. We just know you don't want to see the gun get into somebody else's hands because you'll lose all control, and the tragedy that can ensue is not something you want to see for our community.
So let's see. We have free gun locks available through the Berrien County Sheriff's Office and the Benton Harbor Department of Public Safety. You mentioned the health department as well. The 4 key storage tips for firearms: use a gun lock or a cable lock. Store firearms unloaded and locked. Keep your ammunition stored separately, and avoid storing guns in vehicles. And if you've heard the ads here on the radio, you know what we're talking about. You put it in your center console, you put it in your glove box. That's exactly the first place that criminals are going to look if they happen to break into your car.
Yes.
Amy Byrd, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you so
much. We appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Amy Byrd is the Berrien County Prosecutor. And if you want more information on that, again, just go to WSJM.com/safety. And we've got the information posted there for you and your loved ones. Be safe. Okay, weather forecast. Let's go into it. Partly cloudy skies, chance of showers today, a high around 85 inland, probably in the upper 70s, lower 80s by the lake. Tonight's forecast, partly cloudy, a chance of showers, a low around 65. Tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday, what do we have here? Some sunshine, partly sunny on Friday, a 40% chance of showers, a high of 77. Saturday is probably our big rain chance day, mostly cloudy skies and a 50% chance of showers and storms, a high around 78. Sunday should clear out with partly sunny skies and a high around 77, still keeping a chance of rain on Sunday. Monday looks like it's going to be another beautiful day, partly cloudy and a high around 82. A great day to go golfing. We've got the charity golf outing that's happening with Byrd Private Wealth Management. We'll tell you more about that tomorrow. It's right here on the WSJM Morning Show. It's 8 o'clock.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston.